Face rotation. Players ask me, should the face rotate in the backswing? Let's take a look at a simple golf swing, one that would be a one plane action around the body. So here's the club face swinging around the body with no wrist action, no forearm rotation, and we can see here the angle of the club face. If I was to take that action with no forearm or wrists from an address position into the backswing, you can see how the club face looks. It points downwards towards the ground. Having said that, if you were to swing a baseball bat or another sporting bat or racket, you can see that there's forearm rotation. Try it yourself. As the club swings back, the wrists hinge and the forearms rotate. So that gives me a very different look to the club face here at that point. Tilt my spine then to the ground for my golf swing angle, and we can see the angle of the club face. So for me, a pretty much a square club face would be one where the toe points up. The leading edge, the face of the club, has no relationship to the golf ball at this point. So with forearm rotation and wrist hinge, you can see the angle of the club face points the toe up. If I was to swing back with no wrist hinge or forearm rotation, then the club face, the leading angle edge here, would match my spine angle. So at some point in the backswing, the wrists kick in, the club face changes its angle. At what point? Well, that's really difficult to say. Why? Because the lie of the ground often changes, the club length changes, the weight changes. So there'll be more wrist action in a short iron, especially if it's on a sloping lie, than off a driver on a high tee peg. So wrist action, it changes, but I think a rough guide is around about hip height in the backswing, the toe end is going to be pointing to the sky. If you were to purely one piece it, early stages of a driver, something like that, the leading edge will probably still match your spine before the wrists kick in. So, is there a simple answer? Probably not. It's a complicated one. But I think if you're practicing an iron shot with some wrist action, round about hip height, toe should be to the sky.